Hey guys, Frizzy Brony here, and we are back. Just finished watching the episode Sweet and Smoky. And I've got to say, compared to last week's episode, it does not hold a candle. We are officially at that part. We've had a lovely juicy bit from the story from the villains, and now we've got this middle of the road bit with Spike, Smoulder and Fluttershy. It's a bit of a dud episode. I've got to say, this is feeling a lot like the few early non-sequential ones, but we're going to get into it in a moment. We're going to give a full summary of it. So the episode starts, and we're at the school. And Smoulder has to confront Twilight by saying that she needs some time off. Whether it be for personal reason or for study, this is a personal reason for her. And Twilight, well, taking a week off school for her is a big deal. But we find out why. That's a teacher's lounge.
Okay if I miss class.
It's a pretty cool teacher's lounge.
Make it up tomorrow. Actually, I'll be gone for a week. A week? In the middle of the semester? Oh, is everything all right, Smoulder? Not exactly.
So yeah, it's that time of year at the dragon hatching grounds that the eggs are going to hatch, but Smoulder herself has a personal reason that she needs to go back and make sure her brother's okay, because her brother apparently is not doing too well with her being at school. So she's gonna go. Spike manages to convince Twilight to let him go, and so that there's a teacher on board, basically making it a small school trip, Fluttershy is going to be going to do a full report on dragon egg hatching. We find the way that makes it acceptable for them to all go. Which should be a good setup for the episode. I mean, we've got Spike, who's finally getting some more time in the spotlight, Smoulder, who's one of the best students, or she used to be, but the hierarchy and the ranking have shifted slightly with this season coming. And obviously Fluttershy is always a safe bet because you know there's going to be something of either her being assertive or being misunderstood. So it should be a laugh riot. And so we waste no time getting straight ahead to heading to the Dragonlands to get this episode started. But we're getting more Dragon Homelands, so that's fine.
So if your brother's like me, he's gonna love it. What should we do first? The smile song, the sharing circle, or friendship bracelet weaving?
Smile song.
I'm not sure those are the kind
Oh,
of
I'm glad they bring that back. And this is where we start to fall into the same old beats. We have them get to the Dragonlands, and they all split up. To do their respective jobs, at least. Fluttershy goes off to find Ember, and Spike stays behind just to do what he's doing.
Spike, do you mind if I take a peek at the cute little baby eggs?
No problem.
What is that?
Comfort blanket.
Oh, he's knitting.
Hug every time Smoulder's brother wraps it around himself.
Aw, I'm sure he'll love
I'm not going to make any jokes on Spike, he's too sweet. Trust Spike to be the one knitting a comforter. So we see them doing their bits. Fluttershy has a nice moment with Ember, learning all about the eggs and getting a little bit goo-goo over them. That's a lot of eggs.
Morning, little one. I've come a long way to meet you. Did you know there's a whole wide world out here waiting to say hello?
And now the mother's going to get protective in 3.
Can't answer you. It's an egg.
Ember!
Lord Ember.
Woo!
Nice to see you too.
Oh, yay.
Which one are you again? The party one? Apple Dash. Or was that the country one?
And Spike has an encounter with some recurring characters.
Now that's a thing of beauty.
Oh,
Isn't
goody
our
goody.
little pony friend Spike?
That's Equestria's official friendship ambassador to the Dragonlands to you. And I'm not little. I had the mold. See?
Yeah, we couldn't return to the Dragon Homelands without going with Garble. It seems ever since they did him, he's just become the antagonist for Spike. He's just the one that always seems to be there. But this is where we take... I'm not going to say a twist. It's pretty predictable where the episode's going to be when you see Garble turn up. Watch that be her brother. Watch that be Smoulder's brother.
We better get out of here before your brother shows up. Garble isn't very nice to sensitive dragons.
But Garble is my brother.
Your brother?
Got a problem?
Called it! So yeah, Garble is Smoulder's brother. The one who's apparently sweet, sensitive, caring, and just like Spike. Although, totally not like Spike. But he has been asked to go there with Smoulder to make him feel a bit better. And And so Spike, being a good friend, will actually endeavour to try and do so. And they try to bond over a bit of lava diving.
Scales away. That's like I say skin away.
You know, whenever I'm feeling a little down, it always helps if I do something with a friend. How about we jump together? Yeah. Ooh.
Belly flop.
You okay?
Now, far be it from me to question the logistics of diving into lava. It's nice to see that dragons have their own culture, and I'm never going to rag on that. And they start to do a few more creative activities to see if Spike and Garble can actually see if they can settle some of their differences. Although...
To brighten any creature's spirits.
Feeling better already.
yeah, they don't go quite as planned, with Garble still being a massive jerk and trying to sabotage Spike at every possible event.
Oh, God.
You, but a change of scenery always turns my frown upside down.
You know,
I will be the bigger dragon.
half of the episode I'm liking, the other half I'm
Be the
not.
bigger dragon. Sometimes
Actually,
just
that's
hearing
3/4
someone appreciate
quarter.
about you.
So we flip to Fluttershy for a little while, and we see her still trying her best to look after the eggs, and we find out that not everything is as it seems. There seems to be some little problem with Ember not being used to being the Dragon Lord.
I think you might be encouraging them to stay in. Dragons aren't much for touchy-feely stuff.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Why? Oh, jeez.
Why are the eggs shaking? Are they finally hatching?
I wish. They've been doing that for days. I'm sure it means something.
They need fire.
Probably not good.
Yeah, this seems to be the conflict for the episode. The eggs are shaking and we don't know why, although, once again, you probably could easily tell why they are. Let's swap back to Spike and Smoulder and Garble, who seem to have a little bit of a bonding session, as well as letting something slip that probably Garble didn't want getting out.
Spike, I think it's really nice that you're trying to cheer up Gargar.
Gar.
Smoulder, my turn. I like how you always let every creature know how you're feeling, Gargar.
Holy Smoulder,
Thank you for speaking your truth.
So we have minor conflict with those, with Smoulder swearing that her brother is sweet, it's just around the others that he tries to be a bit more macho. And all throughout it we see the other dragons doing sports and trying to get their little lava pools to become bigger and warmer, which you know is going to tie in later to something in the plot. It's fairly obvious. But we see a moment where Fluttershy actually intervenes. We actually have a moment where the two plots merge.
Hey, Fluttershy.
For a land that's all rocks, this place is surprisingly easy to get lost in.
How are the baby dragons doing?
The eggs won't hatch. They just keep shaking. I'm starting to think the dragons are too scared to come out.
I nearly got you.
I was hoping she was going to do the stare.
Leave my friend alone, please.
And so things have flipped. Now Spike is going to go see Ember, which is nice because this will be the first time he's seen her again in a little while. So we get that nice little reunion there, where he gets to deduce what is wrong with the eggs.
Wait, aren't the hatching grounds supposed to be hot?
Of course. There's a lake of molten lava under them. That's why the eggs are laid here. The heat makes them hatch.
Then something's wrong. I don't think the eggs are shaking because they're afraid. They're cold.
You're right. But what happened to the lava?
I might have an idea.
And we see Fluttershy go off to try and deal with Garble. In something that was a lot more of an unexpected twist than the rest of it was.
Oh my, are those bongo drums?
Fire, dragon, wig, and wagon. Feeling like I be sagging.
Oh yeah, I dig.
Raging lava, bella clava.
Huh?
Fresh lava coming.
He's a beatnik.
I need to do more musical study to figure out what that type of jazz is. All I know is that I've only ever heard it referred to as beatnik jazz, so that's what I will continue to call it. I'm sorry if that offends anyone. Educate me in the comments down below, but for now, at this point in time, that's all I know it as. I can't do any research because I do this right after watching the episode, just so it's fresh in my mind. But so we see Fluttershy stumbles across it, and she has a small moment with him where she confronts him, and she starts to get that more assertive Fluttershy again.
First of all, there's nothing wrong with being a pony.
Come on.
Second, Spike
Bring the
is
stare.
who he is, no matter what you or any creature thinks. That's real strength, not like some dragons I know.
For a pony without a horn, she sure got a point.
So Fluttershy has helped us learn the moral of the story, which is be yourself. Don't worry what other people think. Be yourself, which is a recurring theme for these episodes. It's all about, once again, learning to be yourself. I don't know how many times we've had to repeat that phrase over the last few seasons. Guess they're running out of ideas to do with friendship, though.
I'm looking all over for you guys. We need your help.
I was hoping she was going to use the term poser. I really wanted her to say poser. Let's cook the eggs.
But this is where we see the two plots merge back together. Fluttershy, Garble, and Smoulder go to join Spike and Ember, who in the meanwhile have had a little bit of a moment where they've discovered why the eggs aren't hatching, and we get to see Ember being Ember, which I'm never going to say no to.
I've ordered every dragon to warm up the eggs, but they still won't hatch. I don't know what else we can try.
We can't give up. There's gotta be something we can do.
But fast forwarding back to where we are, the two plots have merged together, and now we have all of the adult dragons trying to heat them up, but not generating enough heat. This is when Spike has another brainwave.
Hey, watch it. That lava fire could burn some ponies.
Good idea, Spiky Wikey.
Haha, go you little dragon you. You know exactly what is up. And so, gotta make him laugh. Let's bring out the bongos.
Hey,
Oh, jeez.
burst into that light. Break through shells that bind.
Oh, we're going to get the song now.
Break free. Explore. Stuck between rock and hard place.
Oh, jeez.
And so the day is saved by beatnik jazz. The laughter fire is enough to coax the baby dragons out from their shells, quite literally, and so a new generation of dragons is born into the world. Happy ending all round. Although even though Garble does get ragged on by his friends a little bit, that soon changes, because once again, best dragon, second best dragon, third best dragon, one of the best dragons intervenes.
Lame. What kind of wiggling writes poetry?
I'm going to punch her in the face.
The hero of the Dragonlands. That's who.
Yeah, Garble saved our eggs because he was strong enough to be who he is, whether you liked it or not.
We will do. No, if you don't mind, can you teach me how to write poetry like that? It's pretty cool.
Yeah, sure.
So it turns out she too has a poetic side. I hope we do get to see this one in future, because her I expect a few other things from. In fact, if we could get an entire dragon jazz beatnik society going, I would love that. I would excuse the fact that it comes so out of left field.
Problem.
Yeah, me too.
I want to learn.
Take a number, guys.
So yeah, a lot of all the dragons now want to also learn how to be poetic and express their feelings, which is always good. And that is pretty much where we end the episode. It's a nice little bit, it's a little bit abrupt actually, but that is where it ends. There is nowhere else for it to go. And now we get to the point where I can sum everything up, although I need just a moment. It's going to be a pure second for you guys, but this is where I'm going to sum up all of my thoughts. So that's it, the episode is done. And I really don't know what to think about this. it's one of those episodes that just happens, and as I say, we're probably because we're still riding that high from Frenemies, where we got Chrysalis, Tyrek, Cozy Glow, all doing a thing, and it was a high adventure episode as well. And then we've kind of just crash-landed now with this slice of life, very slow-paced, very formulaic episode. The characters are good, the setup is good, the payoff is lackluster, and as much as I do like seeing the interactions and getting a little more on dragon lore, I've got to say, just due to the weight of last week's episode, this one falls flat. And on a score of 10, this one is probably going at a 4.5. There's nothing wrong with it, a little bit below par. In fact, I was very surprised as well that this is one of the few episodes that also doesn't really have a song in it, apart from a little bit of bongo and jazz, which is arguably what they were going for. There isn't a proper song, which is even more egregious, as right at the beginning of the episode, they drop a mention of the Smile song. Even if they brought back like Fluttershy doing a jazz version of the Smile song would have been fantastic to have as a little callback, little musical number, get the dragons going, make them laugh, have her have an experience with Garbled so she could see, or he could see, that ponies aren't all bad, because he makes so much fun of them. And now it's like one of them is sharing your hobby and actively engaging with you. That would have been something that immediately jumped it up to a 6, personally for me. But yeah, 4.5 is where this one's going to sit out on my score for this season so far. It may change compared to other episodes in the future. I'm just hoping that they do pick up a little bit. Don't actually know when the hiatus is going to hit. I will be following the American schedule though, because I know Italy have been having the episodes early and they've already got up to episode 10 or episode 13. I don't know where they're up to. I think we're having a hiatus, I'm not sure. If this is where we're having it, so be it. If not, I'm glad to keep doing this right the way up until the series end. Or season finale, which technically will be the series end. Sad thoughts. Sad thoughts. But I'm rambling. Let me know what you guys thought of the episode, if there were any details I missed that you picked up on, who your favourite character was, whether you thought this was a good episode or not. Tell me down below. Make sure to share this around, give it a like and a subscribe, and as normal, after this we're going to be having the little reactions that didn't fit in anywhere else. But until next time, bye bye.
Oh, Jesus, that face! Oh, I missed that for a second. Ah, no, the eyes. Oh, God, no. Stop it. Stop it. Sorry about that, guys. Just Fluttershy's face there's way too much.
Party one, Apple Dash. Or was that the country?
Fluttershy, the one who loves creatures.
You know what you're doing. You know what you're doing, Hasbro.
What? Swallowing lava.
Oh, jeez.
Swallowing lava is definitely worse.
Oh, Spike, you need some Clear-X. Your eyes are going, boy.
Okay, fine. But I'm not a flowery, namby-pamby poet. I'm a beat poet, dig?
I totally feel you.
And you better not tell my friends about it.
We're on the level.
If I was a poet, I'd want to share my creations with every pony.
That's almost like they're vomiting.
Take a number, guys.
I'll take them all.
Oh, jeez. No, Fluttershy, you can't keep them. You have to give them back. Those aren't yours. They belong to someone. Okay. That was an episode.